What is happening, everyone? Okay, so I said I would come on here and just shoot a quick video, just in relation to with it being the new year, and everyone's setting New Year's resolutions, New Year goals, and everything, and it got me thinking then, okay, and to be honest, the past couple of days coming into the new year, I haven't really been setting anything, to be honest, okay. So on a personal note, business note, everything like that, haven't really sat down and had any kind of direction, and that's not because that I think it's a load of shite, okay. Sometimes I feel it's good to set realistic targets and realistic goals, but just over the past couple of weeks, couple of days, I just don't feel it's very hard for me to set any kind of realistic goals when I don't really have much clarity on what could be around the corner, if that makes sense. Okay, so even though I should be coming on saying, let's set New Year's resolutions now. Let's everyone start the new year, the way you mean to set off. But when you don't have any kind of direction or no real motivation, and motivation I feel is a load of shite, but basically you get motivation by having clarity, okay? And at the minute, I don't really have the clarity. I don't know what's around the corner, if that makes sense. For me to sit down and set some targets, some goals, some New Year's resolutions, okay? And I feel that's important for anyone that's out there and you've not set any kind of New Year's resolutions yet. If you've set no goals, if you've set no targets for yourself, that is completely fine, okay? I'm not going to say now, I'm not going to sit down in the coming days, in the coming weeks and start planning and have a little bit of direction. But just right now at the minute, I don't feel that I have that kind of motivation, that clarity of what's around the corner, okay? And there's no point just writing stuff down just for the sake of it, because paper will never refuse ink, okay? And if I'm going to be sitting down now where I'm not kind of in the right mental space to be setting these New Year's resolutions, these targets, then there's no point in me just writing down something for the sake of it. And I think that's important for a lot of people out there that might have sat down on the 1st of January, set them New Year's resolutions, and you feel then that maybe a couple of weeks down the line, they were unrealistic targets, okay? So I think it's important that, instead of everyone coming on saying, let's fucking start this new year, we mean to go off, it's okay to just take a couple of steps back for, maybe a week or two, and then decide, okay, where do I want to see the year panning out, okay? It's where everyone is in a difficult situation right now, okay? Gyms are closed down, hospitality, tourism, there's so many sectors struggling right now. It's very hard for people to go and set New Year's resolutions when they don't know what's around the corner. And I hope that makes sense. And I know I should be coming on here shouting and roaring about, what we need to be setting, and, but sometimes it's okay to take a step back and just be realistic and just admit, first and foremost, that 2020 was shite. 2021 has started shite. But it's not to say in a couple of weeks, when we start getting out of this lockdown, hopefully, that we might have a little bit more clarity. Then our motivation will start rising again, okay? Throughout Christmas, like a lot of people, didn't do much training, ate a load of shite, and now I'm kind of feeling shite, okay? So hopefully, starting Monday, get back into a little bit of training, get back into the Zoom sessions with all our members, and then hopefully then I'll start getting a little bit more clarity then after the first week, we start sitting down then and start setting some targets. But I just said I'd come on here today and just if you haven't set a New Year's resolution yet, that is completely and utterly fine, okay? Don't just write down something that you feel is unrealistic, okay? If you've sat down already and wrote out your New Year's resolutions, fair play to you. But then don't come back then in a couple of weeks when you look back and say, they were unrealistic, okay? And it's okay then to reevaluate those goals in a couple of weeks and say, okay, they might have been a little bit exaggerated, and then bring it back a little bit, okay? But I said I'd come on and just be as honest as possible, and And I feel that, a lot of people need to hear this as well, because, starting the new year resolutions, sometimes it's a load of shite. This year especially, I feel we need to take a step back and just realize, it's okay not to set anything yet, but in a couple of weeks, then you'll have a little bit more clarity. You get motivation from that clarity, as I said, and then you can start sitting down and start setting some targets, for the first 12 weeks, first quarter of the year, and then start moving on from there. But listen, I said I'd jump on and say that to you guys. Hopefully you will get something from it. And as I said, take a step back if you've set those realistic or the New Year's resolutions already. Take a step back in a couple of weeks, and if you feel they're unrealistic, 100% fine, just reevaluate them and make some tweaks to them. If you haven't set any yet and you don't have any kind of motivation, any clarity of setting anything yet, then give it a couple of weeks, okay? I'm not saying now because I don't have much kind of direction, not to say in 2 weeks' time that I won't have any direction, okay? I hope you all had a lovely Christmas. I hope you all had a lovely New Year, and that's about it, guys. Listen, looking forward again to our members getting back on Zoom. It's not the way we planned it, obviously, but it is what it is right now. And hopefully in a couple of weeks we can start getting out of this, and we'll all be the better for it. Listen, guys, talk to you all soon. Hopefully you got something from this, and speak to you all later on. Bye bye.